first down. They hand off to Marlon Mack. Huge hole, 50-yard line. He's at the 40, still going near sideline. He's at the 10. He's at the 5, and he will score. Touchdown, Marlon Mack. Touchdown, INDY. And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard. Leonard with his second INT, and he's streaking down the near sideline. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's gonna go. A pick six for the Maniac.
Horseshoe is back, baby. The horseshoe is back.
Hey, what is going on, Colts Nation? Xzavier Caudill here, and today we're going to be going over how the Colts beat the Jaguars in their Week 17 matchup. Now, this was a big game. There was a lot riding on this game. We saw the Bills beat the Miami, put an absolute shellacking on Miami, and just gave us a chance. It was win it and you're in it. And we stepped up to the plate. We made the game, and we did a great job in doing it. And there was something about this offense I haven't seen in a while, and that was explosiveness. We saw explosiveness from Jonathan Taylor. We saw the big play ability on the ground. That was really, really evident in this game. Now, what does that mean? That means a lot of things, because when it comes time for the playoffs, a lot of teams acclimate to a power run play action scheme. We saw the Patriots do it for years. We see the Titans do it, and they had success last year. We've seen the Ravens do it all season last year, this year. There's a lot of teams that really love the power run scheme, and it helps them come playoff time. And hopefully that's what happens for us, especially versus the Bills, seeing how their Achilles heel is run defense. That's what you can do on the Bills. They have a good, they got a good secondary. They got Tre'Davious White. They got Jordan Poyer. They got guys like that. But when it comes to their front seven, how does it compare to our front five? Well, I don't think it's going to stand up very well in the run game. And I think we're going to be able to control this ball against the Bills. And I think we're going to be able to do some damage that way. Just got to limit turnovers. Our defense is going to have to force turnovers, maybe get a couple stops to help us out. But other than that, I think we'll control the possession we'll control the ball, we'll value our possessions, and hopefully we'll get out of there with a win. But without further ado, let's get into this video here. Now, first play I got for you guys was probably the most interesting play I've seen all season from this Indianapolis Colts squad. This play design was really, really cool, and it was designed to go directly at 29. Now, if you look at 29 right here, who's he reading? He's looking at Quentin Nelson. What's Quentin Nelson doing? Why is he pointing like this? I will tell you this for a fact right now. Quentin Nelson never points. He is not a guy. He is an absolute pro. He is just a man amongst boys, and it's because of everything. It's not just because he's big, physical, meaner than everyone. It's because he's smarter than everyone as well. He is a very, very well-studied player. And Quentin Nelson is never going to point like this on accident. That doesn't happen. He's doing this on purpose. This is to give 29 a fake read. So when 29 looks at Nelson, who has got his whole body pointed towards 99, he's expecting fully the double team. Because as you can see, everyone else, they just got a normal stance. But Nelson, nope, he's got it split closer, and he's acting like he's pointing towards 99. Well, what does that do? Well, if you roll the play a little bit, he fakes it. 29 sees that, but then he sees Nelson come back out. So he's stuck. He's frozen. He's like, what's going on? He doesn't know what's really happening on this play. So when you roll it forward a little bit longer, you finally see what's happening. They're crashing Pittman down to block him. And that block right there, what they did for Nelson was just to really much freeze him. It was to confuse 29 long enough to get Pittman close enough to block him. And what's Pittman do? He does a good job of getting on his hip, pushing him down to the inside, and opening this lane up for Jonathan Taylor, who's going to break it for 50. So next play I got for you here is a really good example of why you get yourself a Phillip Rivers. Now, this is why Jacoby Brissett, in my opinion, is not a better starter than Rivers. I know there's a lot of Brissett truthers. And hell, even if we started Brissett this year, I think he probably would have done better. I agree with that. But I don't think he's capable of doing this right here, what Rivers does, or he's not confident enough to make this pass. And this is being able to read a defense, be able to read a zone and make a decision in a split second. And that's what he does. Now what's going to happen is Doyle's going to run this curl route, sit down right at the goal line. That's going to keep this linebacker in this zone preoccupied. And then T.Y. Hilton's going to do the same. Then we're going to roll Jonathan Taylor out here into the flats. Now what does that do? Well, that makes this corner make a decision. Is he going to, one, commit to Taylor's, or is he going to commit to T.Y. Hilton? Because if he commits to Hilton, then we throw it to Taylor. Taylor's one-on-one in the flats. You know, how well do you think that's going to go for a defensive back? Not very well. So the corner's going to make that decision. He's going to see Taylor. He's going to kind of tunnel vision onto Taylor. And then Rivers is going to read that and immediately make this throw right to Hilton. See right there. Boom. Once he's kind of came over here and committed to Taylor, he's kind of stretching the field, he's already lost. Because Phillip Rivers is a very, very smart quarterback. He's going to make that read quickly, and he found Hilton there for a touchdown. Next play I got for you here is another run play. Surprise, surprise. All game we ran the ball. I mean, if you watch this game, you know that. We were just running all over them. And the big reason why is because our offensive line has really kicked into gear. And last week we were missing Braden Smith. That was a big hit. J.J. Watt was really wreaking havoc on this offense. But now we got him back, and you're going to see what having a Braden Smith does for your offensive line. Watch Braden Smith wash 58, 3 gaps over, and open up this running lane for Jonathan Taylor. We'll see it in slow motion just to show you. Boom, hits 58, gets his feet working, moving in. I mean, you see this gap right here. I mean, you could drive a Mack truck through that. That was just an immaculate block, and he ends up getting the pancake there as well. So a great job there from Braden Smith. That's what I love seeing. This is what we were missing, not having Braden Smith. He's an absolute beast in the trenches. Everyone knows that. Maybe even an all-pro guy this year. I've been kind of saying that for the last 3 or 4 weeks. I'm pretty sold that he's going to be your first or second team all-pro this year. But a great run there by Taylor. Great job blocking by the line. Let's move on to the next. Next play I got for you guys here is going to be a T.Y. Hilton highlight. Now, if you watch these videos weekly from me, you know I love T.Y. Hilton. He's the man. He's been our wide receiver one for a pretty long time. I know he's slowed down a little bit, but as of recently, he started to play better. And I mean a lot better. We saw a lot of improvement from T.Y. Hilton. He's really been doing his thing as of lately. And right here, we're going to see something we don't see much from T.Y. Hilton, and that's just him muscling up on a cornerback. We don't see that much. T.Y. Hilton's always been a guy that's been a really savvy route runner, been really good at reading body cues. But right here, he doesn't need that. And you'll see him right up here at the top of the screen. Watch this route he runs. Runs right into him. He's trying to be physical. He's just going to throw him off at the end of this route, catch the ball, and get a big 15-yard gain. That was impressive. That's something we really don't see from T.Y. Hilton much. But that's pretty awesome seeing that. That just gives me a lot of confidence going into the playoffs because he's about to play against Xzavier White, who's a really physical corner. You know, if he can do that kind of stuff this weekend on Saturday, I would be really, really happy. So next play I got for you guys is another run play. Now, if you want to watch another lineman on this play, everyone pretty much does their job. But watch our interim left tackle. We know Costanzo's out. He had ankle surgery, which ended his season. But watch this guy work right here. He's working against number 58 one-on-one. He's going to completely wash him from this B gap to the other B gap, kind of like Braden Smith did a couple plays ago that I showed you. Boom, takes off. Good hit there. Good leverage. Jacking his shoulder up, turning it, flipping his hips, and getting him moving. That's a great job by a guy that just came out of retirement to replace Costanzo. That gives me a lot of hope. He did a really good job in pass protection too. You know, he looks leaner than the guys we've had in there, Chaz Green, Loraven Clark. He looks like he moves a bit better. He looks a bit more physical than them guys. So it's a breath of fresh air to bring in somebody that's sign somebody from a practice squad that actually is, serviceable to this offensive line. So now, this next play I got to show you is a good job of Phillip Rivers reading what this defense is doing. Now, to start this play, this looks like just, a regular, cover one kind of man coverage. They got press. This guy's right here looking like he's going to rotate back to the middle of the field, but that's not what they're going to do. He's creeping over here slowly to play man coverage on this guy on the inside here, and he's going to creep down, getting ready to come on this blitz. And Rivers is going to recognize that. He knows he has a one-on-one matchup up here. You can't really see his full body, but that's Michael Pittman. And Michael Pittman's going to do a good job of running this route and getting open quickly so Rivers can get rid of the ball instead of taking a hit on the blitz. Yep, so he's creeping down here. He came over. This guy's going back over the top. That's a good job. Keep in mind, that's interim left tackle as well. Let's watch that back one more time. We'll put it in slow motion. Now, this is an interim left tackle. I keep calling him an intern. He's our starter now, but he throws a fantastic chop block here on a blitzing cornerback. Completely gets him off balance, off his rushing lane, and gives Rivers plenty of time to deliver this ball to Pittman for 15 yards and a first down. So this next play I'm going to show you here is yet again another great example of how good Braden Smith is. Also, you could look at Jonathan Taylor. He's pretty patient right here. Earlier in the season, he would have hit this hard right off the rip, maybe would have got tackled. But right here, he's really patient. He waits for Braden Smith to push this guy across his face, takes that little bit of hesitation, and then takes off for about 15 yards. But watch Braden Smith right here working against this defensive end. He just absolutely crushes this guy down inside. And Doyle, our tight end, does a great job of securing this block as well. Like I said, this was a great day of blocking for our offensive line. I really can't emphasize that enough because, a lot of people gave them a lot of flack this year, but the last, 5-6 games we played, they've looked like world beaters. They've looked like that offensive line we know. You see Kelly over here putting in work, Nelson putting in work, Lewinsky putting in work, Smith putting in work, Doyle putting in work. Everyone's just fighting. They look like they want to be there. Pascal's up here blocking a guy 20 yards down the field. He is our receiver. It's really incredible to see the evolution of this run game for the Indianapolis Colts. Now, I understand this is one play, but a lot of plays look like this. And this might be the Jaguars, but the Jaguars aren't the worst defensive front in the league. I can guarantee you that. There's a lot worse defensive fronts than the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a Miles Jack and a Schobert, a Taven Bryan, guys of that nature. But that was a really well-blocked play, really good run there, and we'll get on to the next play here. So this next play I'm going to show you is another great example of Frank Reich being just a very, very savvy coach, very smart coach. Now, this is designed to give us an advantage. We are at a man advantage because of how this scheme works. We're just going to go right at this edge. That's really all we're going to do. I'm going to slow it down for you. Now, there's one other thing about this play that really matters other than this edge, and that's Miles Jack. Because Miles Jack is a good linebacker. He's fast. He can move sideline to sideline. You have to distract him. And how are we going to do that? Well, his read is Quentin Nelson. What are they going to do? Well, they're going to say, Quentin, we just need you to open up, pull. And Jack's going to see Nelson do that, and he's going to initially follow him. So when our tackle leaves, who's going to block Jack, once he figures out what's actually happening on this play, 96 is crushed down here. He's not ready for Taylor to be peeling off to the outside. So once that happens, 96 realizes he's made a mistake. Our tackle moves up to get Jack. He gets in Jack's way, and that's going to open up more than enough room for Taylor to get a big 30-yard gain. So this is the last play I got for you guys offensively, and then we're going to move on to the defensive plays I got for you guys. This play right here was probably my favorite play of the whole game. Well, other than the first one, of course, that was really intricate, really cool design. But this one right here was just Jonathan Taylor being a beast. I mean, just absolutely just beating two people, breaking Schobert down, and then dusting the rest of this defense for a big 45-yard gain that results in a touchdown. But off the jump here, this is going to be a busted play. You know, our interim left tackle is going to get beat. Taylor's going to have to kind of shake back to the left here, change his momentum, and he's going to break Schobert down in the hole, give him a good head fake, and then take off, showing off that 4.39 speed. Get off to the races. Taylor's got speed, man. He's got real speed. He's got elite speed for his size. I mean, he's got elite speed for the NFL. 4.3 is nothing to joke about, but when you're weighing 230 pounds running a 4.3, you know, that's a different beast. There's not many defenses that can contain that. Bad offensive line, good offensive line, whatever it is. And right there, he's putting it all to good use. So now we're going to move on to the defensive segment. And of course, you can't go a full Indianapolis Colts game in 2020 without seeing a highlight from the big bad man himself. Well, I guess 2021 now. But Grover Stewart. The man I'm talking about is Grover Stewart. He's a beast. And we're going to see him working against big Andrew Norwell right here, left guard, who has been an All-Pro before. Not even 2 or 3 years removed. I think back in 2017 he was an All-Pro. So this guy right here, he's a beast. He's been a beast. And him, Andrew Norwell, and Brandon Lindor make one of the best left guard center duos in the league, in all honesty. That's what Grover Stewart was facing all game. And Grover Stewart actually had a really good game against these two guys. I was really impressed. Which he had a good game against the Browns as well. So I guess I shouldn't have been too surprised. It's just seeing the evolution of Grover Stewart, you know, game in, game out this year. It's still kind of shocking how good he does against actual good competition. But right here, we're going to see what happens when you leave him one-on-one backside against any guard. They're going to ask, you know, Lindor right here to reach him when he's a full technique over on a power run to the right. And that's going to be an issue because we're going to get penetration right here. It's going to disrupt this run. And then guess who's going to be right here backside? Boom. The man himself to make the tackle. That was just an excellent play there from our defensive line. I mean, a great play by Danico Autry to really affect this run initially, and then a great job of Grover Stewart winning his backside block and making this tackle for a 2-yard loss. So next play I got to show you is another guy who really balled out this game and who's came in and had really quality reps for this Colts squad. And the guy I'm talking about is TJ Carey. He's playing probably the hardest position to play in football, yet when he's came in and played for us, he's played really good. He's been really a breath of fresh air off the bench. Whenever Rocky Sin's kind of playing bad, you put TJ Carey in to mix it up. And Carey's, I mean, he's came up and he answered the call multiple times. And right here on 3rd and 3, they're going to try to go right at it. They got Chenault lined up over here. Chenault's going to be physical off this ball. And Carey's going to have no part of it. He's going to be physical right back. You can kind of only see their feet right now. He's going to get his hands on there. Glennon's going to let this go, but there was really no chance of Chenault catching this ball. TJ Carey did a great job in coverage there. A lot of people tried to say that was pass interference, but I really don't think it was. I think Chenault initiated that really aggressive contact. Like I said, they're letting him play this game. I think he initiated that aggressive contact, and TJ Carey fought back. They were hand fighting. It was just a physical play, and that's something that the referees were allowing all game. That's what I like. They were allowing them to play physical. And right there, TJ Carey wins the physicality battle and ends up forcing them to punt. So this next play I got for you here is a great example of why you have Darius Leonard on your team. Great example of why we're going to pay Darius Leonard a lot of money to stay on this team. And what really happens here is Danico Autry, he's going to get blocked by 88. 88 is going to do a good job of blocking him right here. And they're going to release 75 to block Leonard. Leonard recognizes that immediately. He speeds past 75, doesn't give him a chance to get on him. Also, keep in mind, Danico Autry has a hand on 75, so he's throwing 75 off balance, off his trajectory anyways, which is what good defensive linemen do. And so when Leonard crashes, he's going to snuff out this run and make the tackle. Now, that was a great job of Leonard being proactive in the run defense, not just standing there waiting for the offensive lineman to get there, because if he does, I mean, as you can see the rest of the play, this is probably a pretty big run. Now, Danico Autry did a good job there of, disrupting this run by getting in the way of the running back, moving his blocker in his way. But still yet, that was a really well-blocked play by the rest of the offensive line. Darius Leonard just makes a really big play there to only hold them to 2 yards on a play that could have went for a lot more. So this next play I'm going to show you is one of many sacks we had this game. We had a ton of them. Actually, the next 2 plays are in succession of each other in the second quarter. It's going to completely stall out a drive. We're going to bring Kenny Moore on the blitz. This first play I'm going to show you. And then the next play, of course, is going to be Darius Leonard in the second quarter causing that strip sack and us recovering, which resulted, I believe, in a touchdown, maybe a field goal. I can't remember. But we ended up scoring points off of it. Right here, watch Kenny Moore. You'll see him come off the right side here. He's going to get really physical with this running back, knock this running back backwards, and make this sack. Boom, big hit right there, knocks him off balance, sacks him. Watch the running back. Well, what do I do? Yeah. I mean, even the running back knew. He's like, man, I didn't know that guy could hit that hard. Because that's something Kenny Moore does that I absolutely love about him. He is fearless. Look at this. Takes this running back on, head on, knocks him off balance, and secures this sack on Glennon. When you got a blocker doing that right there, like, well, what can I do? You're doing something right as a cornerback. So this next play I'm going to show you is what happens when you just free release Darius Leonard to hit your quarterback. Now, FYI, I don't recommend any team doing this. It will result badly for you. I can assure you 100%. If your running back doesn't understand who to pick up on this play, you're in for a bad time. Especially if you're releasing Darius Leonard, the maniac, the man himself, all-pro level kind of linebacker. You can't just let this guy go freely at your quarterback. Because this is going to be the result pretty much every time. It's going to be fumble sack city. Running back last second realizes what he did wrong, and he's like, well, there goes this play. Mike Glennon ended up going to be dropping that one on the ground. We're going to recover it. We're going to get really good field position. But, like I said, whenever you're playing a team like this, a 1-13, 1-14 team, it's going to make a mistake before a team that is 10-5 does. And so the reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people were giving Frank Reich a lot of problems about the third quarter issues. Well, he was just running the ball. He wasn't giving Phillip Rivers an opportunity to throw it, maybe throw an interception. He was being conservative, running the ball, running out the clock. And because stuff like this will happen, we'll see breakdowns of this Panthers offense, or not Panthers, of this Jaguars offense throughout this game. We saw it multiple times, and right there is just a big one that ended up costing them points in the end. Now we're moving on to the third quarter. This is actually the end of the third quarter, and this is going to be a big sack that ends up forcing them to punt eventually. It's going to set up second and long. It's going to stall us drive out. Now, why does this sack happen? It was pretty much solely because Grover Stewart pushed the interior of this pocket. Keep in mind, like I said, this is Andrew Norwell and Brandon Lindor, two of the best offensive linemen in the league. And I could be mistaking that might be a different center than Brandon Lindor. He actually might be injured, but 68 is for sure Andrew Norwell. Or Linder, I'm sorry. Either way, though, this is just a great job of Grover Stewart moving two guys on a double team, really disrupting the interior of this pocket and forcing Glennon to make a decision. Justin Houston also does a good job of getting back here too. So this is really like a double whammy. He meets Grover Stewart and Justin Houston. He can't move to the outside. He can't move to the inside. He's just stuck. He gets sacked. That's just a great job by them two guys right there. So last play I got to show you here, guys, is another sack. This time it was from Kamoko Ture, who's a really good edge rusher. Believe it or not, he's kind of this sleeping giant right now. He's just waiting to break out. In my opinion, he's going to be really, really good one day. Maybe not this season, but next season, I think it's his time. He's just been dealing with a lot of injuries. His first couple of years has been unfortunate. Now he's starting to get healthy. Now we're starting to see that speed off the edge. Rutgers legend, he's good. He's really good. And right here, watch him. He's fast around this edge. Yeah, just a great job, man. He is just way faster than number 76 in that instance. I think that's Cam Robinson, right? If I'm not mistaken. Either way, he just completely dusted this guy. Just left him in his dust. He's going to get to Glennon here, get a big sack, and that's going to force another punt. That's all I got for you guys here. I'll talk about this game a little bit because I don't think I covered enough of it. Now, the first 2 quarters were really good. Wright called a great game. We were running the ball at will, doing whatever we wanted to do. Third quarter, Jacksonville were being competitive. They made adjustments. They come out, they stacked the box. And Wright did what he was supposed to do. He kept running the ball. Whether they stacked the box or not, you don't give Phillip Rivers the green light to throw this ball around the yard whenever we're playing for a playoff berth up 17-0 against Jacksonville. You just don't do that. You just play conservative, which he did. He handed the ball off to his running back, who ended up breaking records this game. And he just did what he was supposed to do. Play conservative, get us this playoff berth. Just be vanilla about it. And it ended up working out. Jacksonville, a team that was 1-14, were the team that was going to make mistakes when we were playing conservative instead of us. Frank Reich knew that. He knew this team was going to make mistakes, like the fumble sack. Just like multiple missed passes on third down, miscues on third down. Frank Reich was fully expecting that to happen. It happened. We milked the clock in the third quarter, even though we didn't score much, and we ended up winning this game by 2 touchdowns. So I was really happy with the performance from both sides of the ball this game. Frank Reich was doing what he was supposed to do. He was being conservative. He wasn't, taking any chances. He was getting this playoff berth for sure. And here we are. We're playing Bills on Saturday, and we have an opportunity to go all the way. 7th seed or not, this team is built for the playoffs. We're physical up front. We have some decent players on the back end, good playmakers. This team is built for a playoff run. It's just, do we have the scheme to do it? We'll see. Can Phillip Rivers get to a Super Bowl? We'll see. But that's all the plays I got for you guys. That's all I got for this video. If you're still here, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you listening to what I got to say. If you like the content, drop a like, drop a subscribe. The Bring the Juice podcast is now officially the #1 independent Colts ran podcast on YouTube. So we finally hit that milestone. If you want to keep growing with us, that'd be great. Just drop a subscribe, drop a like, comment. But until next time, guys, peace.